Buenos dias.
Hola, buenos días.
Lo siento mucho. I am Lo siento.
Don't worry.
Oh, but it was my mix-up. It was entirely my fault. I thought we were both on Eastern time, and I forgot about daylight savings time
That
here.
we don't change.
Yes, right,
Yeah.
right.
Don't worry, it's okay.
Well,
no problem.
I'm just really glad that we were able to reschedule and to do it so quickly.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
I'm glad too.
Yes. So I'm going to begin by reading the introduction, and then I'll talk to you on the other side.
Okay.
The Women Mind the Water podcast engages artists in conversation about their work and explores their connection with the ocean. Through their stories, Women Mind the Water hopes to inspire and encourage action to protect the ocean and her creatures. Today, I am speaking with Adriana Delfin. As a child growing up in Mexico, Adriana loved to paint. She studied visual arts in the School of Arts and Design at the National Autonomous University of Mexico. Adriana lives in Cozumel, where she explores the close link between body, mind, emotions, and the environment using a variety of art forms, including painting, murals, street art, and sensory theater. Welcome, Adriana. Thank you for being here today. I'm really excited to have the chance to talk with you. And I am grateful to Jen Ensley of the Cozumel Art Festival for introducing us. Let me start by asking you about where you grew up. What inspired you to become an artist?
Hello, Pam. Nice to meet you. And I am really grateful with you and with Jen for inviting me to this interview. Well, I was born in Mexico City, and when I was a little child, my both parents were like working all day. They were doctors, both of them. So my brother and I spent a lot of time alone, like doing like activities after school, but we have a lot of time to stay like just alone by our own. And I guess that all the imaginary starts in this age when I was like really small, like really younger. And I remember that I always want to be an artist. Like my whole life, I always want to be an artist.
Seems to me that you're driven to telling powerful stories. What experiences in your life have motivated you to tell these stories?
Well, I guess that the life of an artist and its artwork isn't separate. I mean, your artwork reflects always what you are, what are going through in your life. Sometimes we make it conscious and sometimes we don't. So I guess I started to paint when I was like really young. And it was like a opportunity for me to focus all my attention and my emotions like doing art. I had like a event in my childhood, sorry, when my parents get separated. So it was like really strong for me. And then, but I always start to keep doing art all the time. So I thought that I was like canalizing all my emotions there. And then I had like a period of, like teenager confusion and some like really hard time for me. It was like sadness and some, I don't know, feeling like loneliness. I start to practice yoga and acro yoga and meditation. And then it makes me like be more conscious about me and the elements that were living inside me. And I start to paint about this, like the universe, how we resolve our um, emotions, how we connect with other people and with ourselves through movement, through activities like observing all the time all these elements in our own, like the water, the fire, like trying to understand where we come from.
That makes a lot of sense to me. Um, but how did you get interested in creating murals? And is it more challenging to work on that kind of large scale?
Well, I always been a moving person, like making a lot of activities with my body. I think that I need it because I need to canalize all my energy and my emotions. I think that I love to start to paint in large scale because it keeps my mind and my body in action. Like I can feel all the movement in my body, all the work that I need to do to paint in a really large scale.
I can see that energy in your murals.
Yes, I want to transmit like this movement, like the movement that make us change. And I think that the public art is really special because you have the power, like it's a really good tool to communicate to the public, but not just the public that can go to a museum or a gallery or somebody that has art education. I mean, the public art is for everybody and you can communicate and you can sensibilize the viewer in their own ways in their life. I mean, they go to work, but now they find something different that maybe makes them feel or think something. And maybe they can help, it can help change something in their minds. So I feel that the public art has a really big impact. So it's a tool for the artist to make like communicate in big scale, you know?
Right. So what are the steps to creating a large scale work?
Well, it takes a lot of steps. So I always start by looking the place, like observing where is gonna be the mural. I need to know to observe like all the buildings around, like maybe they have lines or colors that kind of helps me to design like my idea, no? Then I start to sketching the drawing. So I always use like a notebook or my iPad and I take my time like to do the sketch. I mean, I want that that it is like the idea that I want to communicate. No, so I need to take like really my time there. And then I choose like the colors, the specific colors that I'm gonna use. Um, and then we need to prepare the wall. So the prepare the wall is really important. So you can have your paint, the life of your painting is gonna be longer. So I always prepare like 2 coats of sealer and one in white. So the colors might be brightful. And then I start to sketch in the wall. So to draw in the wall, there is like different techniques. It depends of the time that you have to do the painting or where is it placed. So you choose the technique that you're gonna use and then you start to sketch and then you start to paint.
Okay. So can you tell me about a particular piece that reflects on your connection with the ocean? And when you're discussing,
Yes.
okay. And let's discuss it. Can you describe it for those who are listening to an audio version?
Yes, of course.
Thank
Well,
you.
this is a piece that is 15 meters long or 50 feet. And it is just a texture of water. It has two lectures. It could be like the light of the sun looking from the bottom of the ocean, and the other lecture could be like just a detail of a big wave. This mural is just water, and I was talking about that we are 70% water. So if we can connect with this feeling, we can learn how to flow like the water, because we just need to trust that we are part of this. And if the intention of this mural was like, it was when I came back to the island after 10 years out. So it was the first mural that I paint when I come back. And it represents like one time in my life that I need to trust in myself, like to trust what I want to do. And the water makes me feel like trusting.
So Adriana, after you put all of this thought into the public space, into what you want to put there, and you put all your energy into creating it, how does it make you feel that unlike a framed piece of art, your mural can be temporary and might be painted over?
Well, this is really hard when you live it by the first time. But then you understand that the public art is in a public space, and you can't control what is happening in the landscape, I have a really special piece of art that I paint for the last SeaWorld's Cozumel in 2019, and it talks about dolphin captivity. So I paint a mother dolphin and her baby, like going through the water. And then it has like a message that it says, do not buy a ticket. And it means like, do not pay to go to swim with the dolphins, no?
Yes.
After that, like few months, the owner of the place where I paint, he put a fence and obstruct the view of the mural. So the people cannot see the mural anymore. You just can see the dolphins going out, but now it looks like if they are in the dolphinarium instead of being free, So it is sad.
Do you think that art can move people to engage with the ocean in more positive ways?
Yes, of course. I mean, I come from the city, and I really believe that when I live in the city, I always went to the vacation to the ocean and the beach, but you have a really different idea of the real thing, what's going on with the ocean in the present. And when I came to the island and start to live here and observe what is happening, I thought that it's really important to communicate all the people from all the world what is happening to the oceans now. Because we need to take care of them, we need to take responsibility, we need to start to do actions. And through art, I think this is a really, really good tool because everybody likes art. And even if you are not close to the ocean, maybe you can see your Instagram or something following your artist, and you can observe and you can learn about some other things that you didn't imagine before. So I guess that as an artist, we have the responsibility to take these tools to let the people know what is the real impact of all the things that we have like humans, like the relation with the oceans, because that's where we come from.
Right. Well, I always enjoy seeing your work on Instagram. And I hope
Thank you so
sometime,
much.
you're most welcome. I hope sometime to travel to Mexico to see your work in person. Maybe even make it to the Cozumel festival after
Oh,
COVID.
perfect. It's
Yeah.
very nice.
Yes.
It will be really nice to meet you.
Yes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the outtake, and then you stay put, and we can talk a little more. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So I have been speaking with Adriana Delfin for the Women Mind the Water podcast series. The series can be viewed on womenmindthewater.com. An audio-only version of this podcast is available on the Women Mind the Water website and on iTunes. Women Mind the Water is grateful to Jane for the song Women of Water. All rights for the Women Mind the Water name and logo belong to Pam Ferris Olson. This is Pam Ferris Olson. Thank you for listening.